please subscribe to my channel. I ask you, please remind you, please subscribe to my channel as we continue watching this video and learning how to ensure that we get correct hygiene into our bodies, and so that every time I upload a video, you'll be notified in time. Welcome. I hope and trust that you are keeping well. This day we are looking at figure millet. We are looking at figure millet, several containers, 3 containers with grains of figure millet. Figure millet is one of the grains, plus many others types of millet that are used greatly in this country of Kenya, within my tribe, my people, my society of the Agikuyus, and also many other Africans use these grains a lot for porridge. Porridge, we know, we have said before in this channel, that is actually a traditional food that was eaten by our forefathers and gave them great sustenance and health. I have 3 bowls here. I have 3 bowls here of figure millet. And what I want to demonstrate today is how to clean your figure millet. I also want you to see that when you buy your flour in the marketplace, in the market porridge flour vendors, you must ensure that that flour is hygienic, that flour is clean, because these grains are harvested from the shamba, from the garden, and in the process of their harvesting it, they seem to collect a lot of soil, a lot of dust on themselves. And if your flour is just milled directly with the grains, not washed or selected, be sure that you are going to buy a contaminated flour. So this immediate bowl has grains that have been pre-washed, grains that have pre-washed before with soap and water, and you can see they really look clean. But you'll see, comparing with that other bowl next to it, you will see that the color of the next bowl is the one which is completely full, is muddy, is a bit dull. The color of the grains is not quite bright, and it is quite dull because the grains are full of dust. Even when I poured them into that container, you could see dust actually blowing away. And even this one, the big one, this one is not washed. So what I want to do is demonstrate how we can ensure that our grains are pre-washed, and maybe probably take the initiative individually and have the grain milled in the mill yourself, instead of depending on flour vendors whom you don't know whether they actually have washed the grains for you. So what I'm going to do is fill this green bowl. I'm going to pour some water in this green bowl. I'm going to bring it to the level almost up here. And then with this sponge, it's just a scoring sponge for washing cups and utensils. This is not this soft, this smooth, is can't score as clear. It's just for washing plates and cups. I use that, and I'll use a normal piece of laundry soap. This is laundry soap. So my water, I think that's enough. This is just a piece of laundry soap or piece of bar soap. Bar soap is very safe to wash your utensils. Bar soap is also very safe to wash your vegetables, your fruits, because it is just it is made with animal fat and sodium hydroxide. But detergents that we use for washing our clothing, those are not ideal for washing your dishes, or washing your vegetables, or washing your grains. So I'm just going to create for foam. I'm going to create foam. I'll rub the soap on that foam, and then I just create a soapy foam in the water. I have now developed foamy water. Using that piece of soap, I just rubbed it on that piece of foam, and that facility helped me to create water that has got normal soap. So what I'll do, is just take my bowl of grain, take my bowl of grain. You can see the dust actually at the bottom. You just take my bowl of grain like that, and just wash these grains out. Wash this grain. You can see already what is happening to our water. You can see the foam, which was white. Already you may think that I have poured soil. I have poured soil in that water. And why is this? It's because those grains have a lot of soil. Those grains have a lot of soil. And so, just like any other food that we get from the market, we must always clean it with soap and water. So even the grains from which our flour for porridge is being made must also be washed. You can see there are no exception. Dengos are no exception. Beans are no exception. Jahes and pigeon peas you buy from the market, you must wash them with soap and water. So many times we go and find a vendor has ground a lot of flours, different types of flours, and all we do is just measure out, weigh out an amount, and then we go home and cook. But what you realize is that when you cook porridge with that flour, that porridge does not taste nice, because all this, look at my water, look at our water. You saw that the water was directly clean from the tap. Now you can see how your water looks like. Let me put some water in a glass. Let us demonstrate how, how clean water looks like. That is a glass of clean water, as clear as that glass. So you can see, as it has stayed a little bit more in the water, you really can see how our water has become soily. It has become soiled. And even the foam, the brown color of the foam, can actually demonstrate to us that those grains had a lot of dust in them. So let us demonstrate with a glass of water. With a glass, water. So we can see clearly how that water looks like. How that water looks like, which is the washing water for the amount of grains that I have placed there. And this shows us that our grains are very dusty. And before you measure your flour in the marketplace, it is important to ask yourself a question. Have those grains been washed? When you cook your beans, you must wash your beans. But when you buy flour from the marketplace already ground, you can't wash that flour. It is a good question to ask yourself. Has hygiene been maintained in my food? Is there hygiene maintained in the processing of my uji flour in the marketplace? So I'll just drain out this water, and I'll drain out this water, add some more water, and again add a little bit more soapy water to complete the process to ensure that my grains are completely clean. Look at that. This is my first wash water from my figure millet. That is the first wash. You can see how dusty they are. There's a lot of soil on those grains because obviously they are harvested from the shaba and they are very, very small grains. So they must get really, really dusty from the shaba. So that is our first wash. I will add more water to the grains, add more soap, and then rinse it completely. So I have put the second wash. So our grains are already in the second wash. You can see already the white of the foam. And I'm still in the process of cleaning. You can see that there's still some brown coloration coming out in the process of washing that grain. So this means that our grains really needs to be washed, and it is important for us to make that critical, responsible question and search to know which vendor prepares my uji flour in the cleanest way possible. You know, these days there are people who are really cleaning the grains whereas they process the flour for fermentation. They really clean out the grains, but every other vendor is not doing that because the process of drying the grains is also critical, that the grains dry properly so that they don't mold, and then you get flour with aflatoxins. So I'll just remove out this water. This is my last wash, and I'll just rinse out. And then I put the grains on trays and put them on the outside to dry out. I have completed the last rinse of our finger millet. You can see how bright our grains look. The grains look quite clean, quite clean. You compare how they were when we started them. They looked quite dusty and quite dull. But now you can see that the grains are very clean, very clean and bright. You can actually differentiate the colors properly. So when you choose to buy your grains and wash them at home, please ensure that you wash them quickly. Wash them quickly to ensure that the grains do not soak in water, so that the drying process also can be faster. I'm going to spread these grains on 2 aluminum sheets, and then I'll take them outside in the sun. In good sun, I would usually dry these grains for 2 days. They would spend two hot days in the sunshine, or even 2 to 3 days at most. And if you wash them and you find that you are not able to dry them properly, if you have an oven, you can put them in an oven tray and let them dry at a temperature of 100 degrees centigrade, or even less than 100 degrees centigrade, and allow them to dry completely so that no molding takes place in your flour when you mill or even when you preserve your grains. I'm going to spread the wet grains on these 2 aluminum trays, and then I'll take them outside with the grains of figure millet that I have washed. You can see how clean they look. I'll now just take them outside. To dry in the sun for about 3 days, because my day today is half day. So I'll give them 3 days, 2.5 days. With good sun, they will be done in 2 days. Especially when you are washing, you ensure that you wash quickly. Wash quickly and rinse quickly and take them in the sun quickly. Spread them out in the sun. Those are my grains of my trays of figure millet grains that have been washed. The first 2 ahead there are the ones I had washed before, 2 of them. The total amount of figure millet grain that I had purchased was 5 kilos. So that is almost about 5 kilos of grains. So I will just cover them with a net. They are outside. I'll cover them with a net so that they can dry slowly. Those are the 4 trays. I have covered them with a net. I've covered them with a white net so that the grains are not pecked by the birds. But if you don't have trays and nets, you can just get a piece of cloth press. For example, a piece of heavy satin from the shops, maybe about 2 meters of heavy fabric, and you can always use that fabric to spread it on the ground. First of all, you can lay some sacks, polyester, synthetic sacks on the floor, and then you can cover the sacks with a cloth, with that piece of cloth, about 2 meters of farm cloth from the market. And then you can spread your grain on it, and it will dry even quicker. They will dry even quicker. So I'll just leave. Now it is half day. So I'll get these figure millet grains to dry for 3 days. Until the 3rd day is when I'll be satisfied that the grains are completely dry, and I will know that they are not going to mold even when I preserve it. So when you wash them very, very quickly, the grains will not absorb any water because they are usually very, very, very hard. The grains are usually very, very hard, so they don't absorb water quickly. Even if you are to boil them, they would take a very, very many hours to cook. So if you wash them quickly, take them outside, within 2 days they'll be ready. This is our end product. After taking it through the washing process and I subjected it to hot sun for 3 days running, ensures that my grains are now completely dry. The grains are now completely dry. They are ready to go to the mill to be turned into flour. They can be mixed with other clean grains before it can be milled according to a person's choice, or it can be stored safely until the time that one needs to take it to the mill. And you can see that our grain is very clean. Our grain is very, 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 very clean. You can see that our grain is very, very, very clean. You remember how we started it? It was looking grayish, matte in quite dusty, quite off color. You could not really find or identify the redness of the grains or the dark red of the grains. But now you can see every grain, and you can see every color of every grain. You can be able to identify each grain. It's because your product now is clean. Our product now is ready for human consumption. Our product is now ready for human consumption. It is clean. We have quality controlled it. We have cleaned it. And it is always important to become that for each one of us to be the last QC, be the person who quality controls what goes into your system or whatever the family consumes. Be the last person to do quality control. In my years of raising the family, I have bought uji flour. I have bought uji flour from various shops, from various people who are vendors who are selling the flour. And every time I have cooked it, I have had to pour the porridge, and I have had to throw away the flour. At times I may have bought 2 kg and I just throw it away. So in my years, I may have thrown almost 10 kilos, trying here and there, until I decided that I can't buy flour from a vendor anymore. If I need uji flour, I have to get the grains from the market, wash the grains, and go and look for the milling machine where it is, so that I can have my flour milled. If I buy maize from the marketplace, I would have to also clean it. I also have to clean it and wash it before I mill it. So I will encourage you that you have the power. You have the power and the responsibility to quality control your work. Take responsibility of everything that you find from the market. Make the last decision what it is that you decide to consume. I hope that this demonstration is been of benefit to you, and to empower you to exercise your power, to exercise your mandate, to just take control of your own life and the life of your family, so that you are not poisoned by every Dick and Harry who wants a little extra sharing. May God greatly bless you and keep you and protect you and give you wisdom wherever you need it.